Okay, this is Arthur getting ready to start. These two beings. Okay. You are now in the process of shifting. And I know you beings like to call it a dimensional shift and this and that, and ascension and descension. Well, you're going to find out that it's a descension process in the spiritual understanding of yourself. You have a thought, which is you, that entered the sperm of your father to enter the egg of your mother. From water to water, you came into the air, breath, and walked upon the planet. You're in this phase of understanding the divinity of yourself and your responsibility for the knowledge of that divinity and the power that comes with it. You cannot be reckless now. You're going to find out that the process of understanding thought is unique with each one. Most don't know where their thoughts come from, being outside themselves or inside themselves, or the left side of your brain or the right side of the brain. Or did it come from above you? Or did it come from beneath you? And did the solar plexus have an involvement? You're going to need to understand this phrase now, because you're coming into the confusion of it, of yourself, the confusion, what I call the Rubik's Cube shifting. There'll be a dizziness, there'll be a forgetfulness that comes on your, where you are at. You are in your room, you go to another room to get something, you get to that room, you can't remember what it was you came to get. You've got to go back to the other room and try to remember, and then you say, oh, you forgot the process of walking to the accomplishment of your goal, of the thought. You're confusing yourselves in space. Space is shifting. It is twisting. It's twisting. It's twisting. And you're in it, and it's causing the dizziness. You're going to need to understand these two words. Shields, like a mighty shield of Archangel Michael, and seals. The seals are your 7 chakras. You need to understand that they're in alignment, straight up and down, spine, force, and peace to all beings, and stay present. When you have a forgetful moment, the forgetful moment is not for you to remember, because you're coming into another consciousness of the purity and divine wisdom of yourself, proceeding to be able to assist others as they are coming along. Not to lecture, overlord them. You can't do that. You have to be there in the space of the place, and that means you need to be present. The entity working this one is Archangel Uriel. He's represented in the north, in earth, and concerned with prophecies and visions. Now, if you notice the stars in your world, the North Star stays where it is. Everything else moves around it. There's a portal there, and you're at the edge of that portal right now. You're at the edge. That's causing this dizziness when you know you have to think, well, what's happening? You need to settle. Peace to all beings, shields up and seals. Because as you move up toward this energy of the coming from the North Star, within the North Star we will say, North Star portal itself, there are beings around that portal star that want to get in but are not allowed to. You are being allowed to progress toward that middle of that portal. These beings that are not allowed, that are around it, will try to hitch a ride on you to get through. It's called possession in your world down here, but it's much more serious. And that's why the Psalm 6 is so important, because the 10th verse asks all your enemies to be ashamed. And an enemy is anyone that disturbs your thought of you and getting you off the track of your shields and seals and the perfection of your divine self. You're here on a planet with knowledge and grace. You came from your mother. You didn't get here any other way, unless those shapeshifters that are coming out and playing their little game here. You're in a dynamic phase now, entities. You better understand the spiritual nature, the perfection of yourself needed here. Shields up and seals. You've heard of the 7 chakras. Well, there's seals on those chakras, and they have to be displayed. How do they get displayed? It's when you have accomplished the task of the chakra. From the root, solar plexus, all the way up to crown, navel, all 7. And you have chakras above your head, which are what you call the crown's throne. It's where you sit, in a manner, on your little pillow there, as you become accustomed to the understanding of no thought and how it comes about unto you. You will understand that you are presented here on the planet. What we will term your force, you say the Creator. Everyone has a problem with this word God. You have to go play around with it. Don't. God presented you here for a reason, not solely for yourself, but for others. And as you perform your perfection, others we can try to understand how you're doing it, what you're doing correctly. You know to eat the proper foods. You know to stay out of dangerous places. You're supposed to know how to pray. Actually, if you really want to understand the truth of yourself, there's only 2 words for prayer. You only need 2. And then you'll get down to 1. And then you'll get down to none, because you'll find out that you are the prayer. Everything you've ever said is written in the Akashic Records. You've heard that. You've heard it. But you don't know where to find the Akashic Records. And why are they written in the Akashic Records? Why? So you can remember what you said and how it produced the results that you lived through. That's why. And you can reflect upon your ignorance and your lack of understanding and your lack of humility, appreciation of the life that you've gotten. In your world now, your news is into criticizing everyone else's life. You don't have your procedures down correctly. You need procedures to perform. You need procedures to fly airplanes, to drive cars. You have to turn the key, you have to know where the clutch is, you have to know where the brake is, you have to, it's an automatic, you have to know how to shift. Those are procedures. The same thing applies to the procedures within your thought process. Which chakra's talking? Are you one of the ones that came down to inhabit the earth and were given permission? Or are you one of the ones coming up thinking you're on the planet? Or are you part of the fallen angels? Are you? Of course. Because you can't remember how you get back. So you correct yourself. How do you do that? You remember the simple rules. There's only 10 commandments. Basic. And then when you get to that, don't lecture anyone. Live it. And then you get back to that, and then you find there's only 1 commandment. Just be the God that you are, and love God above all things. but not you, the God love above all things. Is the original God love above all things. That one. That one. The presence is being displayed now. Everyone on the planet is feeling it. How they react to it is totally different. There's dizziness. There's a need to be centered. Peace, protection, and joy. There's a need for shields and seals. And to be present at every moment. Your vision's going to change. What you don't realize is the left side of your brain has 3 eyes. The right side of your brain has 3 eyes. And you have an individual eye in your pineal gland, what you call your 6th seal, that combines the unification of the halves of the brain with assimilation of the understanding of the polarities you're existing in. So you need to calm yourself, and the only way you can calm yourself is to move into the heart chakra, peace to all beings. And as you move into the heart chakra, peace to all beings, you're going to need to understand this other thing, mercy. Mercy to all beings, and call for mercy to yourself. Because when you're working with the angels of nature, which is Juriel, and his multitudes of angels, you're going to find out they're not so worried about the personalities of the human condition. They don't care. They're more interested in the communication that takes place between the animals, and the harmony that exists in the animals, in the animal kingdom. And you're watching it, you can see in the news now how the animals are changing a little bit, becoming more friendly toward one another, protecting one another, because there's another knowledge coming forth, entities. You have no idea how you were born. You have none. Or maybe a remembrance of a past life. But how did that get this one? I know you understand the word karma, but do you understand what the presence of karma is? Because you're in it. So you're going to need to understand what controlling your space is, your environment. And I'm talking the space that is around you. When you get dizzy, sit. Put your index finger on the heart chakra or solar plexus, say peace to all beings, and calm down, particularly on the left side. Calm. And then you breathe in what you call the magnetic force of the earth. Consciously bring it through on the right side of your body. Calm the both of you, because you've got 2 beings in there, and the third one is you trying to figure this out. It's in the tarot cards, if you looked. And peace to all beings. You come back in your consciousness at peace to all beings, but you sit down in your pelvis in the bones. Now your bones have a blue sheath around it. Very thin blue sheath. And that blue sheath is a representation of the Holy Spirit. And that blue sheath is what caresses your bones. They bleed, but they cry inside for the love of God, and produces the blood that you use to circulate the oxygen through your body. That's how it works. So prayer is beneficial, but you don't even consider the Holy Spirit. But you've heard Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit is Shiva. Shiva. Call Shiva. Peace to all beings. And be present within yourself. There's going to be a requirement for dignity of self. We are through.